Hi, I'm Andy. This is Brain Buzz. You may notice I'm talking a little more quietly this week. I'm just recovering from a cold. Of course, I caught a cold earlier in the week. It's all in the throat, so I may be talking a little more softly this week. But I still wanted to come on here and give my mental health talk because I was really interested in talking about resilience and cognitive load. Now, I've spoken about both of those in the past, in previous videos, in fact. Feel free to look them up. But today specifically, I want to talk about the two together, how combined they can affect our mental wellness. First, a little recap. Resilience is your recovery time. So, when you get knocked down, how fast can you get back up and running? Now, we face challenges all the time, all day. Sometimes they're very minor. For example, stubbing your toe when you're rushing to get to the office, or maybe running out of milk right after you poured your cereal. Some of them are larger, like a layoff or a death of a loved one. And then, of course, there's a whole range in between. The more we get affected by these issues, regardless of the size, really, the more it's going to affect our resiliency. And if it's low, then those minor things tend to start to aggravate us more. Cognitive load, on the other hand, is essentially everything you are juggling in your active memory. So think of it like your to-do list, but like your master to-do list. So everything that you're doing at work, plus all of the things you have to do at home, plus everything that's on your mind. That's your cognitive load. Now, the two are kind of intertwined in a number of ways, but primarily, the longer you hold your cognitive load, the more likely you are to affect your resilience. Now, how does that work? Well, the longer you go holding a very high cognitive load, the more likely you are to either start messing up or delay things or not even be able to complete them because your brain will shut down. Those, in turn, will affect your resilience. And the longer you go that way, the more it's going to lower your resilience. So, for me, right before the layoff, my resilience was actually quite high because everything was going very, very well. However, my cognitive load was also very high. Now, when I was laid off, my cognitive load, poof, disappeared, right? So, because my resilience was high and I no longer had any cognitive load, I was able to absorb the blow of the layoff fairly easily. Now, had I held on to this cognitive load longer, it would have started chipping away at my resilience, and then this layoff probably would have affected me more. Now, I don't have any special techniques or tips for you this week, but there are ways you can start to pay attention to things. So, as I mentioned when I talked about resilience, when your resilience is low, you're more likely to be affected by the minor things. So think of it as a short fuse or a temper, or you're just irritable. When you start noticing that, pause for a moment. It's likely because your resilience is low and you need to do something about it. Maybe take a look at your cognitive load. See if there's a way you can reduce the number of active things you have going on. If you can't, take a vacation, or maybe a mental health day. If you don't have a mental health day, take a damn sick day because your brain is sick. You need a rest, and that'll help bring your resilience back up. And once it's back up, you can continue with your high cognitive load. Because, let's face it, there's no way to eliminate your cognitive load. All you can do is try and manage it. All right, I'm going to stop here for this week. I'll be back again next week with another talk, and I'll see you then.